Hi there. I want to give you a special invitation to join me and 30 others land IELTS band 0.5 and above in the next 30 days. And it doesn't matter if you're terrible at English, scared of failing the exam again, and don't have time to study because of your job. Listen, to make 2025 my most impactful year, I've taken the challenge to get at least 30 people to pass the IELTS exam every 30 days. And like I just said, it doesn't matter if you're terrible at English, if you're scared of failing the exam again and don't have time to study. Now, I know this is a huge claim considering how difficult the IELTS exam is, but the reason I'm bold enough to take on this challenge is that we've done it before. Now, take a look at this testimony for one of my students from November. Now, this is Oreva, who was based in Warri, and here's what she sent me on WhatsApp. She said, I just wrote my IELTS on the 21st of November, and I passed. She said, in reading, she got 8, listening 7.5, speaking 7, and writing 7. Now, here's the good part. She said that it was my first attempt, was very busy at work, and had only 3 weeks for intensive preparation. Now, 3 weeks is just 21 days. Now, this means that 30 days is more than enough to get your desired IELTS score when you do exactly what Oreva did. And listen, don't think this is a one-off thing. Now, this is Joy from Kaduna, and here's what she sent me on WhatsApp as well. So just to let you know that I passed my IELTS 7.5 to my first attempt. Thanks to videos, I didn't have much time to practice well, would have done better. And what did she get? She said she got speaking 7.5, reading was 7, writing was 8, and listening was 7.5. And also, we have Edith here who learned listening 8, reading 8.5, writing 7, and speaking 7. And this is Emmanuel Innocent who learned the band 8 in just 1 month. This is what he sent me. He said, good evening, bro. Find my results above. I scored a band 8 with just 1 month of using your guidance only. I'm so grateful. So you can publish this result to encourage others. Please add my name and my number. And said, thanks, bro. Keep doing what you are doing. See, I can go on showing you more proof that passing your IELTS exam in the next 30 days is very possible, even if you have little or no time to study. But let me stop here to answer this important question. How did you do it? How did Oreva land about 7.5 in 21 days, despite not having time to study because of a job? And what qualifies you to join me in this challenge so you can cross the IELTS exam within the next 30 days? But before I answer this question, I think it's important I introduce myself properly. So my full name is Triumphant Organist Sway Shoma, but I'm popularly known as Triumph O Sway. Okay. Now I founded IELTS Avengers out of my passion to help busy professionals like you secure a better future for themselves and your kids abroad. Now, most importantly, every Saturday by 7 p.m., I teach IELTS for free on my Facebook and Instagram Live. So it's important that you connect with me on social media. So on Facebook, just search for Triumph Also, as you can see on your screen right now, and follow me so that you can join my live every Saturday to learn more about passing your IELTS exam in one sitting. And if you're on Instagram, you can also find me on Instagram by searching for IELTS Avengers, IELTS Avengers, just like you're seeing on your screen right now, and give us a follow so you can always join my live on Instagram to learn more about passing your IELTS exam in one sitting. And if you prefer to contact me on WhatsApp, here's my WhatsApp number. It is +234 8154 081912. Now, if you're in Nigeria, you can just search for just save it as 081 54 08 1912. All right. Now, with this said, let's answer this question. How did Oreva do it? How was she able to land a band 7.5 in 21 days, despite not having time to study because of a job? Now, all we did was follow 3 simple steps. All right. And the first one is to clarify your burning why. And the second one is to have the D.I.D mindset. And the third is to use the IELTS cheat code formula. Now, let's begin with step 1, clarifying your burning why. Now, to help you understand what a burning why is and how to find yours, let me share with you how I find my burning why. You see, instead of being born in Paris and smiling with a blue passport from birth, thanks to my grandpa, I was born in a village called Ugara, Delta State, Nigeria. Now, how did this happen? My grandpa was a very wealthy international merchant who traveled to Paris and Venice, Italy at will for business. But the problem was he never valued investing in his kids' future. He wasted all his chances of relocating my dad and his siblings abroad, despite signs of the country getting worse. Now, after the Civil War in 1970, while his friends and business partners they were relocating your family and business out of the country, he did not. Now, why, you may ask? He was a lavish spender, he married 6 wives, and carelessly plunged the entire family into poverty. and got everyone back into the village. Now that meant my dad and his siblings had never had the privilege of good education, let alone the ability to relocate us the grandkids abroad. Now growing up, I've always wanted to correct this mistake and give my kids the privilege my grandpa didn't give my dad, the same privilege my parents couldn't afford to give to me, and that's the privilege of dual citizenship for my kids. Now sometimes, nothing hurts more than being honest with our emotions. In 2019, I got the news that one of my secondary school classmates was getting married in the UK. Now, it didn't matter much until I saw the wedding photos on Facebook. Now, back in the day, this lady, let's call her Jane, and another guy, let's call him Peter. So Jane, Peter, and I usually share the first, second, and third position in class. Now, immediately after secondary school, we all got admission to university. Now, Jane was sent to school abroad, while Peter attended one of the most prestigious private universities in Nigeria. I attended University of Benin, a public school, where I spent 5 years for a 4 year course because of ASU strikes. Now, after Peter graduated, he immediately relocated abroad, I think to the US, for his master's degree. I was the only one left in Nigeria. Now, for me to gain such status, I had to work it out myself. Now, this would have been the case if my grandpa had lived better. When my grandpa was shuffling Paris, Venice, and Nigeria, he would have easily positioned my dad and his siblings for a better future, but he didn't. As we speak, some of my uncles and aunts still hate him for this mistake. I've experienced firsthand what it feels like to have parents and grandparents who didn't make power moves for you. Sometimes I ask myself, how would my kids feel if they learned that I had a chance to take IELTS, relocate abroad, and guarantee them a dual citizenship and a better life? But I didn't. Now, how would they feel when they see my friends and colleagues' kids living their broad life while they're struggling with the challenges we face every day in Nigeria? Now, I have to be honest with myself. They will definitely feel hurt. They might not have the courage to tell me to my face, but deep down, they will prefer they had a different parent. And that's my burning why for taking the IELTS exam. All right? And here's some questions you should answer to figure out your burning why as well. Now, what I want you to do is this. I want you to answer this question. Now, the first one is this. What are the things you hate in your life right now that passing IELTS and relocating can solve for you? 2, what are the positive things you will enjoy the moment you pass your IELTS and relocate your family? And 3, how would your loved ones feel? How will they feel if they realize that you could pass your IELTS exam today and relocate and guarantee a better life for them, but you didn't? Take a moment to answer these questions and reflect deeply before you answer them. You can even pause this video to answer these questions and share them with me in the comment section if you want to. All right? Now, once you figure these out, then you can now move to step 2, which is to have the D.I.D mindset. Now that you clarify your burning why, the next thing you need is a D.I.D mindset. Now, once again, let me show you how important this is using myself as a case study. You see, because I was born and bred in the village as a child, the only language I could speak was Urhobo. I couldn't speak English. Now, to access good education, I was taken to a nearby town called Sablé, where I lived with a guardian and attended primary and secondary school. The problem was that I never did well in English. Now, despite all effort, I actually had my lowest grades in English language. When I was to take my SSC, my parents were so concerned that they wrote me for WAEC and NECO at the same time. Now, the idea was that if I fail English in WAEC, at least I will make it in NECO. And if it happens that I fail English in NECO, at least I'll just pass it in WAEC. Now, even at this, the best I could come up with was 6.6 in English, the least University of Benin required. So since then, I've always avoided English exams like a plague. I was so scared. So when I was to take my IELTS exam later, I was really, really scared. Now, it got worse when I constantly saw friends and acquaintances fail the IELTS exam multiple times, including English graduates and lawyers. Some wasted over 500,000 naira rewriting IELTS 7 times. My heart sank when I saw people saving up to write the exam immediately after taking the exam. I even read the story one time of a lady who wanted to sue IELTS because she had failed the exam whopping 21 times. Now, if people, some doctors, nurses, engineers, bankers, and lawyers, if you were complaining about the IELTS exam, then what chances does someone like me, who struggled to pass English at school, what chances do I have? I knew I was done for. Out of fear and despair, I did what I saw everyone doing. I gathered tons of IELTS materials from friends and vendors. I watched hundreds of IELTS videos on YouTube. I attended online IELTS and physical classes. I joined several IELTS groups on Facebook and WhatsApp. I crammed high vocabulary words, grammar, and idioms, and I practiced any question that came my way. Now, after 6 months of doing these things, it felt like I was never going to make it. And the more I learned, the more I became confused. The more I practiced, the less competent I felt. Each IELTS question came with no tricks, and wrapping my head around the exam felt like mission impossible. To avoid failing the exam, I started following world-renowned international IELTS coaches, people who had direct contact with top IELTS examiners. And went the extra mile to invest over 480,000 on expensive premium IELTS programs and real IELTS past questions, and I studied them to understand how IELTS examiners think. Now that's how I discovered that when the IELTS examiners said the questions should be answered on Thursday, they used something they call the IELTS question types. Now, IELTS is divided into 4 subtests. We have listening, we have reading, we have writing types 1 and 2, and then speaking. And when they want to set the listening questions, they refer to something they call the listening question types. When they want to set the reading questions, they use what they call the reading question types. And when they want to set the writing tax 1 questions, they refer to the writing tax 1 question types. When they set the writing tax 2 questions, they'll set it from the writing tax 2 question types. Now, speaking is a bit different. In speaking, there's part 1, part 2, and part 3. But when I want to set the speaking part 1 questions, they will use speaking part 1 question structure. For speaking part 2, they will use speaking part 2 question structure. Now, for speaking part 3, the examiners will use speaking part 3 question structures. Now, what this means is this. IELTS examiners cannot set any question that doesn't belong to one of the question types. Do you get it? I was so happy when I made the discovery, because since the IELTS examiners will always set all their questions in the question types, it means that if I get to know all the question types, I can easily tell all the possible questions I'll be asked on Thursday, and this puts me at an advantage. So I set out to discover all the IELTS question types from which the examiners set the questions, and I found all of them. But it didn't take long for me to realize that knowing all the IELTS question types is not enough. Though I cannot predict all the possible questions that I'll be asked on Thursday, if I don't have a proven strategy to get the correct answer fast, I'm toast. So this became my next goal. For each question type, I'll get at least one proven strategy to get the correct answer fast. And to accomplish this goal, I started studying each question type. Now, the more I studied them, the more I realized that for each question type, I explained 30 tricks to make us waste time and pick the wrong answers. When I discovered these tricks, I took note of them and developed strategies to avoid falling for these tricks. I also discovered certain hidden patterns in each question type that helped me to get the correct answer fast, and I note them too. Now, with these tricks to avoid and the hidden patterns I discovered, I developed step-by-step strategies that I like to call cheat codes for each question type. Now, I'll try the cheat codes on several questions. If a cheat code is not constantly giving me the correct answer, I'll discard it. But if it keeps giving me the correct answer, I'll tap it proven and I will write it down. So slowly, I developed proven cheat codes for all the question types. But because of my record struggling with English exams, I was scared about trying the IELTS cheat codes out on a real IELTS exam with my 75,000 naira. Now, at that time, IELTS was 75,000 naira. So I started looking for someone who will use my cheat codes on my behalf, and that's how I started talking about these things on Facebook. And that's how I met Omolola. Now, back in the day, Omolola was a banker in Lagos. She read on my post and got hooked on the idea, so she contacted me. Now, Omolola was interested in the idea because she just failed the IELTS exam and was desperately looking for a way to pass it in the next trial. Now, you may be wondering, why would someone be this desperate to try cheat codes that the founder hasn't tested himself in the real exam? You see, this was 2018, 2019. And Nigeria was fairly okay, not as terrible as it is right now. As an expert banker, I think Omolola foresaw the crumble of the economy and wanted to relocate quickly before things got worse. Now, around that time, Ogi also contacted me. Now, at this point in time, Ogi has failed the exam 3 times. Now, remember that time the exam was 75,000, and that means she had wasted over 225,000 naira on the exam. If it was today, that would be about 1 million naira wasted on the exam. So you can imagine how scared Ogi was to take the exam for the 4th time. Now, despite her fears, she joined Omolola to practice the cheat codes for each question type, and I went on to take the exam. Now, a few weeks later, here's what Ogi commented on my post. She said, I aced my IELTS exam once after the first 2 trial. That's until I came across triumph. And now you might be asking, what about Omolola? Here's her result. She got listening 8, reading 7.5, writing 7, and speaking 7.5. As you can see here, this was in 2019. She got this score using my cheat codes. Now, after Ogi and Omolola proved that the cheat codes are sure bet to passing the exam in one sitting, even if they failed the exam 3 times, that's when I became confident to take my test in 2019. But guess what happened? I didn't get my desired band 7.5, but it was too late. You see, in 2018, when I started my IELTS journey, my goal was to relocate to Canada via the IELTS Express Entry program. In October 2018, the CRS cutoff mark was around 442, and the band 7 in IELTS was enough for me to get this score and relocate via the Express Entry program. But because of my fear of failing, I kept procrastinating. Even when I've gotten the sheet codes for all the question types, I still did not take the exam. I waited for Ogi and Mola to study them and try them out on the real exam before I had the guts to take the exam. All this took about a year. So after passing my IELTS exam in 2019 and I went back to the Instructor website, lots of people with higher educational degree had joined the pool and CRT score has gone up. So though I passed my IELTS exam, for me to compete with them, I need a master's degree. And that's when I realized that when it comes to IELTS and relocating abroad, delay is dangerous. I'm very sure that Ogi and Mola, they had learned this lesson earlier. That's why they didn't even hesitate to use my IELTS sheet codes, even though I don't try them out in the real exam. These two women had the delay is dangerous mentality. That's what I call D.I.D mindset. All right. They were action-minded people. I wasn't action-minded. I was too careful. I was fearful. I kept procrastinating. Now, though my fears were excusable, though they were legit, it doesn't change the fact that delay is dangerous. I still pay the price for delay. And let me tell you what happened after that. When I went on to inquire about a master's program that year, it didn't take long before COVID-19 hit China and spread across the entire world. Relocating programs started shutting down in several countries, and by 2020, the lockdown had begun. So even in 2020, I couldn't relocate. For these two women, they had relocated. Why? They had a delay is dangerous mindset, but I didn't have that mindset. Now, this is the reason I tell people that you can't be making excuse and making progress at the same time. It doesn't work that way. You have to choose one. Under your nose, you will see your friends and your colleagues will be relocating, but your fear of eyes has held you down. Some of them are not as brilliant as you are. They're just bold. They take risk. They know that they can't be making excuses and be making progress at the same time. So if you want to make progress regarding IELTS and your relocation, stop making excuses and start taking action. And two, start preparing for your IELTS exam now, even if you don't know when you register for it. When we're in school, then there's something we call the fire brigade mentality. You know, fire brigades, they only swing into action when there's fire already. That's how some of us operate. All through the semester, we will not study. Once it's 2 weeks to the exam, the fire brigade in us will come out. We'll start studying morning, afternoon, and night until our body breaks down. Please and please, don't bring this mindset, don't bring this mentality to IELTS. As long as you plan to relocate, as long as you have the desire to relocate, it doesn't matter if you think your relocation pathway requires IELTS or not. Take the exam seriously very early. From today, start preparing for it. The exam is not a conventional, I'm not going to lie to you. It's not a conventional exam. When you start preparing late, you will most likely fail. Increase your chances of passing in one sitting by preparing from today. And three, see IELTS as an investment. For some people, the exam is expensive, and I agree with them. Right now, the exam is 277,000 naira. Now, that's not cheap. You can't plug that from the tree. That's even more than some people's monthly salary, and I get it. However, the exam is cheap when you compare it to the transformation to bring to your life and your kids' life. That's the truth. I know you don't want to waste your hard-earned money on the exam, but at the same time, don't let the fear of wasting your money stop you from taking the exam as soon as possible. If you fail, see it as an investment gone bad, learn from it and try again, but never give up. Ogi didn't give up after 3 failed attempts. If you're giving up, she won't be celebrating today. I want you to learn from Ogi. I want you to be an action taker. I want you to have the delay is dangerous mindset. Now, with your burning why and with the D.I.D mindset, let's now get into step 3, which is the IELTS sheet code formula. You know, they say necessity is the mother of all invention. And that's the very truth. You see, I discovered the IELTS sheet code formula out of necessity because I was born and raised in the village. As a child, I couldn't speak English. And that affected me all through school. Although I took WIC and NECO at the same time, the best I could come up with in English language was C6. So when I was to take IELTS exam in 2018, I was really scared as I saw people failing the exam right, left, and center. Even when I spent 6 months doing what everybody was doing, it felt like I was never going to make it. And that's why I opted to invest over 480,000 naira in real IELTS past questions and premium IELTS programs from the world's most expected IELTS coaches. It's from studying them I discovered how IELTS examiners set the questions we answer on Thursday. And like I told you earlier, the examiners, they set the questions from what they call the IELTS question types. Now, I want you to consider the IELTS question types as the IELTS course outline or syllabus. Now, do you know when we're in school back then, the lecturers, they don't set any questions outside the syllabus. Now, same thing here. All right? IELTS examiners, they always set all their questions from the question types. And I want you to take a look at them. So this is all the possible questions you meet on Thursday. for listening, for reading, for writing task 1, writing task 2, writing and speaking. Now in task 1, you will see that there are it's divided into two. There's academics test and general training. Now if you're wondering what's the difference between academics and general training, is just task 1. The question types, which is the course outline, they are different, and that's what you're seeing on your screen right now. And see, to ensure that I didn't meet any strange question on Thursday and that I can get the correct answer fast within a short test time, I came up with a formula. And this is what I call the IS cheat code formula, ICC for short. Okay? I call the ICC formula for short. But the full name is IS cheat code formula, all right? And this is it. It says that for all the question types, okay, the one I just showed you just now, you have to do the following. First, we need to learn how to easily identify that question type. Now, you need to do this because it helps to accurately predict all the possible questions you will ask on Thursday and prepare for them. Now, if you don't do this step 1, you know what happens? The questions you meet on Thursday will keep confusing you and will throw you off balance. This is one reason people keep wasting time and end up failing on Thursday. You don't want this happening to you. All right? And the second step is to be aware of the tricks that I explain to make you fail the question types. That means some people make the tricks that I explain. You want to be sure that you're aware of them and you avoid falling for these mistakes. Now, why should you do this? If you don't do this, IELTS will make a fool of you on Thursday. Now, I've seen many cases where candidates finish the questions and they believe that they've crushed the exam. But on the result day, they get the shock of their life. They end up with low scores. Some even have the confidence that they will pay for a remark, but their scores remain the same. The reason is this. They most likely picked the wrong answers, thinking it was the correct one. They fell for the mistakes and the tricks that IELTS placed in the questions. Listen. In these question types, I explain 6 tricks to make us pick the wrong answers. If you are not aware of these tricks and you don't know how to avoid them, you will end up like this candidate, and I'm sure that's not what you want. And step 3 is this. You have to master a proven step-by-step strategy that gets you the correct answer fast for each question type. Now, this step is very, very crucial. When you meet a question and you recognize its question type, you know the IELTS tricks that to watch out for so that you avoid them. The one thing you don't want to happen is to waste time thinking about how to solve the question. On Thursday, time is short. You should enter the exam hall 100% prepared for every possibility. What should happen is this. As you see the question, you recognize the question type, you avoid the tricks that I explain, and immediately you apply your step-by-step strategy to get your correct answer fast, and you move on to the next question. Now, this is how you beat time. That's why you can't joke with step 3. Take it from me. Before you register for your exam, for each question type, please make sure you master a proven step-by-step strategy for each of them so that you can get the correct answer fast. There is no other way. Let me tell you why I can't emphasize this enough using Dr. Manuel as a case study. You see, Dr. Manuel lived most of his life in the northeast of Nigeria, which is the very heart of Boko Haram terrorism. Now, he schooled in Maiduguri and he practiced in Gobi for over 6 years. Now, I want you to imagine living amidst bomb blasts, kidnappings and killings every single day. Like, you're living in a place where there's no value for life or property. You will drop your kids at school on your way to work, and in the afternoon, you will get a call from a stranger asking for 50 million ransom. If not, you won't see your kids again. And that's how life was for Dr. Emmanuel. And that was his burning why for taking the IELTS exam, so that he can qualify for his medical exams, practice in the UK, and relocate his family too. But he ended up getting a band 5 when he needed a band 7.5 or above. At this point, he definitely needed to move to band 7.5. If not, his life and the kids' lives will perpetually be in danger. And that's why he approached me for help. So I explained to him the IFU formula, and here it is again for all the question types. Make sure that you learn how to easily identify the question type. There are all the tricks that I explain to make you fail the question type and master a proven step-by-step strategy that gets you the correct answer fast. And make sure you do this for all the question types. The problem was that he didn't take this to heart. He only prepared for some question types and ignored the rest before taking his test again. So in the exam hall, do you know what happened? He met strange questions that he hadn't mastered a proven step-by-step strategy to get the correct answer fast. And on result day, he failed to get a band 7.5. But do you know what struck him? By following the IHQ formula halfway, he moved from a rating 5 to a rating 6. From listing 6, he moved to listing 7.5. And from writing 6, he moved to writing 6.5 and got his speaking 7.5. Now, immediately he saw his improvement, he thought like, wow, what if I taken this more seriously? What if I followed the IHU formula all the way? You see, that same night of seeing his results, he booked for the next available exam and went back to the IHU formula. This time, he implemented the overdrive. and was ready for any question IELTS would throw his way. Then he took the test again. And on his first attempt, using the IQ formula correctly, he landed reading 7, listening 8, writing 7, and speaking 7.5. As a matter of fact, let's hear from Dr. Emmanuel himself.
When the test came out yesterday, I said, wow, Triumph has done it. No, seriously, I can't imagine how I felt the last night. I want to thank you for this idea you brought. I want to thank you for bringing up this initiative. Yeah. You've saved me a lot of money. You know, you saved me a lot of time and stress. Since yesterday, I'm emotional about it.
Can you see why it's so crucial you follow the IQ formula all the way? Now, it's a sure way to pass the IELTS exam in one sitting. You can choose not to follow it, but I assure you, you're only setting yourself up for failure, like Dr. Emmanuel did until he learned his lesson. Now, this is the reason why I created the IELTS Cheat Code Pledge, and I want you to say it after me. Say this after me. Before I register for the exam, I pledge that for all the question types, I'll do the following. 1, I will learn how to easily identify the question type. 2, I will be aware of the trick that I expect to make me fail that question type. 3, I must master a proven step-by-step strategy that gets me the correct answer fast. So help me God. Now, if you said this pledge after me, I want you to type 1 in the comment section below. All right? If you said this pledge after me, type 1 in the comment section below. You see, Oliver kept to this pledge, and that's why she could crush the exam in one sitting despite not having time to study. And if you want to share your testimony before the year runs out, you have to keep to the IELTS Cheat Code Pledge as well. So let's now answer this question. How did she do it in 21 days? And how can you do it in the next 30 days so you can share your testimony as well? When you look at the IELTS course outline and count the number of question types for each subtest, this is what you will discover. You will discover that we have 8 listening question types, 12 reading question types. Tax 1 Academics has 7 question types. Tax 1 General Training has 2 question types. Now, Tax 2 has 5 question types, and Speaking has 3 parts. So, in all, we have 37 question types to cover. So, this means that if we focus on 2 question types per day, we can cover the entire IELTS syllabus in 19 days. 2 times 19 is 38, right? So, for these 19 days, you dedicate 2 hours each day. Call it your IELTS time. Dedicate 2 hours each day to your IELTS. Call it your IELTS time. All right? On this IELTS time, you'll follow the IQ formula to prepare for the question type of the day. And don't tell me you don't have time. You see, everybody have time either. But she had 1 hour before going to bed and 1 hour after waking up. You can do the same. 1 hour before you go to bed, you focus on one question type. If it means going to bed 1 hour late than usual, do it. See that sacrifice for a better future for yourself and your kids. Also, you can wake up 1 hour earlier than usual so that you can have 1 hour spare to focus on the question type in the morning. You can even dedicate your office break to working on the IELTS Cheat Code formula. These sacrifices are easy to make when you remind yourself of your burning why. You know delay is dangerous. So there's no procrastination here, no laziness. This is how everybody did it. She didn't make an excuse. She took action and she made progress. The question is this: do you have what it takes to follow in her footstep? Will you follow in her footstep? Will you take action? Talk is cheap. Will you walk your talk? Or will you chicken out and wait for repercussions years to come? Right now, you have 2 options. And option 1 is this: you can execute the IELTS formula on your own. That is, you will research how to identify each of the question types yourself. You will study each question type all by yourself to know the tricks that IELTS play for us to fail them. And for each question type, you will develop your own step-by-step strategy for getting the correct answer fast. And this is what I did, and it took me over 10 months. You can give it a try. Or you can join the Band Data Challenge starting June 2nd. Now, as I mentioned in the very beginning of this video, to make 2025 my most impactful year, I've taken the challenge to get at least 30 people to pass the IELTS exam every 30 days. And one of my plans for getting that done is the Band Data Challenge for June. Now, here's how it works. I've created an exclusive Telegram group where for 30 days, I'll be giving you the cheat codes to 2 IELTS question types. And that's not all. For each question type, I'll give you real IELTS past questions that you'll likely meet on Thursday so you can use them to master the cheat codes. Now, in week 1 of June, we'll focus on the listening and the writing task 2 test. In week 2, writing task 1 for academics and general training will be the focus. Week 3 is dedicated to the reading and speaking test. And week 4 is the practice marathon with questions you will likely meet on Thursday. How about that? So 2 question types per day in 19 days would have covered the entire IELTS course outline, and the remaining 11 days, you practice with questions you will likely meet on Thursday. See, you may not crush the IELTS exam in 21 days like whatever, but you definitely be crushing the exam in 30 days, which is not bad. At least you'll be smiling at your desired score just like Omolola now living in Birmingham, UK, and you'll be jubilating like Turulope, who learned listening 7, reading 8.5, writing 7, and speaking 7, and is set to leave the country, all for just 1,500 naira per day, which is 2 payments of 25,000 or 1 payment of 45,000 naira only. Yes, with just 1,500 naira per day, by June 30th, you'll be able to accurately predict all the possible questions you'll be asked on Thursday. Never ever fall for the tricks I explained to make you fail the listening, reading, writing, and speaking tests. For each question type, you are smart the eye examiners with cheat codes that get you the correct answer fast, even if you're a slow writer. You take the exam with the full confidence that you're definitely passing it, even if you are terrible at English and don't have time to study. You get your desired score in one sitting and never have to worry about the IELTS exam in your life again. And be free to further your education plan and celebrate next year Christmas with your family abroad. All for just 2 payments, 25,000 or 1 payment of 45,000 naira. And you'll be smiling at your result just like Wemimo, who lives in Lagos and landed listening 8, reading 7, writing 7.5, and speaking 8. Or you'll be dancing to your desired score just like Adeoke from Abeokuta, who landed listening 9, reading 7.5, writing 7.5, and speaking 7.5 on a very first attempt after 6 years of avoiding the exam.
Yeah, this is my wife. Her name is Ololade. Okay.
He sent me very much. You had what's the result again? Just call it out from listening, reading, writing, and speaking. What did you get exactly in each of?
Okay.
Listening 9.0.
Wow.
Writing 7.5. Reading 7.5. Speaking 7.5.
In your first attempt, after 6 years of deciding not to take any exam in your life.
Yes.
Wow.
Let me make this clear. Now, the Bandit Challenge starts 2nd of June and once we begin, registration ends, so you have limited time. The challenge will be happening in a private Telegram group so that if your job or business takes your time, you're able to catch up on the class. Please note this. Everything and all the resources you will get will remain in a private group, even after the challenge is over, so that you can continue studying with them and celebrate with band 7.5 and above whenever you choose to take the test. Just like Nurse Joy from Kaduna, who didn't have much time to study, but still landed in 7.5, reading 7, writing 8, and speaking 7.5. Or like Dr. Ife, who crushed the exam in one sitting, will listen by 9, reading 8.5, writing 7, and speaking 8. And if you failed the exam before, no problem. You'll be celebrating like Ogie, our action lady, with delay is dangerous mindset. Simply make your payment to the Sterling Bank account on the screen right now and send us your proof of payment on WhatsApp so we can add you to the Telegram group immediately. Now, in case you are asking, what's the guarantee that you'll pass the IELTS exam when you join the Bandit this challenge? Now, here's what Jenny has to say. She said, I'm a living testimony of the thorough tutorial of Mr. Triumph. You will surely pass if you focus on the strategies well and do your daily assignment diligently. You see, the Bandit challenge is a proven system that works. And before I let you in, you have to prove to me that you'll be committed. You have to promise me that you will practice the IELTS course you'll be getting daily. You will do the daily tasks and submit your assignments when due. You will implement the corrections you'll be given during the challenge so you can come back to thank me just like Voke is saying. That I'm back to say thank you. Studying on your page and taking your classes was worth it. It was my very first attempt. It's done and dusted. One sitting. To think I took the computer base. If I had taken the class more seriously, perhaps it would have been a Band-Aid. Band 7 is fabulous for me. Signing out graciously. And this is what Success has to say. She said she sent us this message around midnight. She said good evening. So the next day morning we replied that I will say good morning. So she said, trust you are good. I said, I want to appreciate you for your teaching. I got my required score. It was her 5th attempt, and she's saying thank you very much. And this is what Olamide has to say. He said, what people don't know is this. There's no how they will attend your class or get your material that they won't pass now, even if they are just using your material 2021 at overall 7.5 band. It's not that it's expired. I'll be coming again to rewrite. Your teachings are top notch. And this is what you say. I say, thank you so much for the tutorial, sir. I gained so much. I'll keep watching the videos till I master all the steps and mistakes to avoid. I swear your teaching is top notch. I've used 2 different tutors and your work cannot be compared with theirs.
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Ade. and I'm here to share my testimony with you guys. Okay, some months back, I registered with Triumph for some IELTS tutorials. I'm a nurse back home in Nigeria, and I'm glad to let you guys know that I'm now a nurse in the UK. I got a 7.5 in reading from 6 and a band of 8 in listening from 6 also.
So what's your major advice? What's your major advice for people in your shoes in Nigeria right now?
Well, as for me, especially for nurses, because the opportunity is there.
Okay.
So far you pass the exams, you just try as much as possible to put in all effort. If it's worth you borrowing money, I'm telling you, it's worth it. Even if you don't have the money now and you want to pass the exam, just try as much as possible to borrow from somebody that is reliable and know that okay, you can confide in. Just borrow and put in all your efforts. So far you pass, you have the necessary requirements, you are good to go. Because the opportunity is there for nurses to come in, nurses, doctors, even pharmacists.
I want you to understand that this is an investment that will change your life and kids' life forever. The Bandit Challenge is priced 1,500 naira per day. So this means that the entire 30 days, that's 45,000 naira, right? However, we don't accept 1,500 naira daily payment because that attracts too much bank charges. And also keeping track of those who make payment and those who did not is very ethic, especially when we have to do it for the entire 30 days. This is the very reason we only accept 2 payments of 25,000 naira for those who want to pay in installment. So a total will be 50,000 for them, or 1 payment of 45,000 for those who want to pay for the entire 30 days once. Now, truth be told, there's a lot of things you can do with 45,000. For the guys, you can get a good pair of shoes that will serve you for a couple of years. For the ladies, you can get a handbag or even a mid-quality human hair. You can use it to get gifts for your kids or feed them for a week or two. But the question is this: what long-term value will this give you compared to participating in a Bandit Challenge? Right now, 45,000 naira cannot get you a set of quality non-stick pots. It cannot get you a 20-liter microwave, not even a bag of rice. But do you know what it gets you when you invest it in a Bandit Challenge? Freedom to accomplish your education dreams and celebrate next Christmas with your family abroad. Freedom from feeling inferior to your friends and colleagues living abroad. Freedom to live and work abroad where you earn in dollars and pounds instead of naira that seems to losing value every day. You get that sense of pride and joy of sending money back home in pounds and dollars. You guarantee a better life for yourself and your kids. Have your kids attend British, Canadian, or US schools absolutely free of charge. Grow to see your kids forever grateful that they have you as a parent and be the very reason your future generations will enjoy their abroad privileges from birth. All for just 2 payments of 25,000 or 1 payment of 45,000 all in. So as you can see, this is an investment of a lifetime. And if you really have a burning why for taking the IELTS exam and relocating, this is a no-brainer. Make your payment right away. Let's get started making your dreams come true. Registration ends midnight 1st of June. Now, here's some good news. When you sign up for the Bandit Challenge right now, within the next 24 hours, I'm going to give you early access to my IELTS tools before the challenge starts and much more. Based on Oriver's and speed, we created an IELTS plan that as long as you follow it, you'll be able to pass the exam even if you have 3 weeks left, just like Oriver. Now, guess what? When you sign up for the challenge right now, you get it for free. Not just that, when you sign up right now, before the timer below hits 0, I'll give you instant access to my iShows for listening, reading, writing, and speaking. Now, this means you don't have to wait till June 2nd to prepare for the exam. Starting from this very moment, you can start practicing the cheat codes and testify like Oriver. Now, to crown it all, I'll also give you instant access to my IS past question votes with questions you will likely meet on Thursday. These past questions are worth over 300,000 alone, and they are only available to you when you join the Bandit Challenge today. The reason I'm giving you this bonus is to ensure that you have everything you need to cross the exam starting from this very moment and testify just like Sonny, who joined the Bandit Challenge from the United Kingdom and crushed it within 3 weeks. He got listen 7.5, reading 8, writing 7, and speaking 7.5. And Mary here, a Richard from Akure, who learned listen 8.5, reading 8, writing 7.5, and speaking 7 from using the bonuses I'm giving you for free when you join the Bandit Challenge right now. So make a payment right away to get the bonuses for free. The account you pay to is 82272636061. The bank is Sterling Bank and the account name is Triumphant in Oreshima. Now, once the timer on this page hits 0, I'm sorry, these bonuses disappear forever. So you have to hurry. Now, I want you to understand this. And if you don't want to do this, it's fine. All right. Success in life and relocating abroad is not for everybody. I've shown you everything you need to do to cross the IELTS exam in the next 30 days. All you have to do is figure out your burning why. Make sure you have the delay is dangerous mindset and follow the IELTS cheat code formula. That's all, nothing else. And you might as well execute the IELTS cheat code formula yourself. I did that and it took me 10 months. I just want to save you time and get your desired result fast, just like Morolo Care from Ogun State, who participated in the Band 8 challenge and learned listening 7.5, reading 8, writing 7.5, and speaking 7.5 on her very first attempt. And Eget from Abuja, who learned listening 9, reading 9, writing 7, and speaking 7.5 on her very first attempt with the Band 8 in 30 days challenge. And Onome from Abuja, who learned listening 8.5, reading 8.5, writing 7, and speaking 7.5 on her very first attempt with a Band 8 in 30 days challenge. Now listen, all the relocation pathways are getting choked. Everyone wants to relocate. If you're not fast enough, you miss out like I did in 2019. So make your payment right away and join the Band 8 challenge right now. Now, please note, the Band 8 challenge is for those who have a burning why, those who know that delay is dangerous, those who want to celebrate next Christmas with their family abroad. And if that's you, sign up right away so you can start practicing with the IELTS plan and cheat codes immediately and get them for free as well. Once you do that, send us your proof of payment so we'll add you up immediately and send you the bonuses right now. Remember, these bonuses will expire once the timer below is 0. So make your payment right away. If you have any questions, send them to us on WhatsApp and my assistant will attend to you. I'll see you inside. Bye-bye for now.